Donald Trump sat down for an interview on Tuesday with talk show personality Dr. Phil, and the interview contained the usual litany of bizarre claims by Trump, but one stuck out to us. It involved the results of the 2020 presidential election.
I look at California. I gave a speech. I had a crowd so big. I said, "There's no way I could lose California," but automatically they mark it down if you're a Republican as a loss. That you lose by 5 million votes. I said, 5 million votes. I guarantee, if Jesus came down and was the vote counter, I would win California. Okay.
I would win California, is what he just said. Okay, to be clear, California has not voted for a Republican for president since 1988. It has been a blue state for many decades. Trump lost it by almost 30 percentage points 4 years ago, so the race wasn't even close. If he can claim he should have won there, it really says something about how far he might go in trying to cast doubt on any loss. And what does that tell us about what could happen if he loses this year? Let's bring in Princeton University professor Julian Zelizer. He's also a CNN political analyst. Julian, first, your reaction to Trump's claim about California.
Well, it's one more piece of a long thread of election denialism thrown in with a little ode to his evangelical Christian base. But it's one more reminder that even though the Democrats have focused on a campaign of joy and optimism, Trump very much is still focused, maybe more so than a few months ago, on spreading this idea that the election is not fair and potentially setting up a challenge if this is as close as the polls suggest it can be.
I want to pick up on what Elena Trine was reporting, and of course the nitty-gritty about the processes of getting this debate to happen on September 10th. It looks like it will happen. What kind of clash are you expecting?
Well, it will be very different than the first one. I think Trump will be the same. It will be chaos at some level. He'll throw a lot of things at her and basically try to overwhelm her and intimidate her through his words. And I think Harris will be different than Biden was. She's very precise. She can be very focused, prosecutorial in her demeanor. And I think she will listen, respond very carefully, and try to pick apart what he has to say. It's a hugely important debate, more so than many in the past, because it's the first and probably only between them, and because of the backdrop of the first debate.
So we now know that Vice President Kamala Harris will do a sit-down interview. It'll air Thursday here on CNN. Dana Bash will be doing the interview, airing at 9 p.m. Eastern. I mean, this is a high-stakes interview, one that everyone will be scrutinizing because she has been criticized for not making herself available as readily to the media. What does she need to do in this interview? And do you think that she will get more detailed on her policy as opposed to staying broad?
To some extent. I mean, I think some of the questions about the details of policy are certainly not what's being asked of the Republican ticket. And I think the Democrats believe you keep the issues broad. You don't go into, points A, B, and C, but you focus on the big themes. And I think she will try to lay out what are the 3 or 4 big agenda items that she wants to focus on. And she'll continue to, introduce herself as a person, which matters in politics, to the electorate. And she will try to do what she did in her speech. Republicans were attacking her. Many thought she couldn't do it. She did it. Many think it was very successful. And I think she'll try to recreate that with a little more in terms of the outlines of what she wants to do as president of the United States.
It's also a high-stakes interview, whether it will carry her momentum or slow it down. CNN political analyst Julian Zelizer, thank you.
What has Trump been doing? What has he been saying? Well, he went on Dr. Phil's show yesterday, and he was asked about a variety of things, and he talked about how he thought that he won California last time.
It's interesting.
If we had an honest vote counter, I would win California.
You think so?
Oh, I think so. I do. I see it. I go around California. They have Trump signs all over the place. Look, France had mail-in ballots. They went away from them because people were cheating. Anytime you have a mail-in ballot, there's going to be massive fraud. What we have to do is get control, and then we have to change it. And it's a very simple change. Same-day voting.
Okay, beyond the fact that he did not win California, about the strategy of criticizing criticizing mail-in voting when he did that last time, and Democrats ran off the score in mail-in voting. And then this time, Republicans, Trump tried to change this too and say, okay, you can mail in your ballot, everything is fine. Now he's back to what he said before, and that's probably, if you're a Republican strategist, not what you want your nominee to be saying.
Yeah, this is, speaking of Georgia, I remember Ron McDaniel going down to a campaign office during the runoff and getting heckled by people who thought this. This is deep in the firmament of Republican thinking. The Trump campaign is paying strategists to get mail ballots turned out in these states, in every swing state, but he keeps undermining the message. I think that interview with Dr. Phil, though, is also part of this other thing the Trump campaign is doing every day, hammering home the message that Harris is not doing enough interviews. Trump is doing a ton, but they're usually with people who are asking him, I wouldn't say friendly softball questions, but getting in his comfort zone. And in his comfort zone, he veers wildly off message back to things that they don't want to be talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, every organizer trying to get people in central Pennsylvania to turn in mail-in ballots smack their head, again, a very well-worn part of their head. They smack every week when he says this.
Right.
Trump veering off course at a time when the party is trying very, very hard and strategically to ensconce their position on how they want people who want to vote for their candidate to vote any way they possibly can, and even getting Trump to film a recorded message for his supporters and acknowledging that some people simply can't make it to the ballots on election day, that early voting, mail-in voting is okay,
Trump
he said
staying
in
on
May.
message or not staying on message, kind of the story of the Trump
it's never gonna
years.
happen.
It's not going to go away.